saying that. I mean, I'm not sure a day goes by when I don't get an email or a text or something from some member of the public with a suggestion, with an idea, really bubbling over with enthusiasm about this plan and what the plan can bring for our state. And, you know, I look at it, I feel, I mean, it's all here. I feel like it's lacking heart somehow. I didn't know if I was going to say that, but I'm just going to say it. And I know a lot of people care an awful lot about landfills. I don't see a lot of punch in here about why we're really trying to divert from landfills. We say we've got the goal, but what is it about landfills that make them bad? I mean, you could put in a couple of sentences. I hear all the time from people about plastics. There really isn't much about plastics in here. I feel like we could add some sort of legislative goal or something. But I just want to, and I know you all know this, people have such high hopes for this, and I feel like we just have to try to do the best we can do. And yes, there are going to be some stretch goals in here, and it'll give us something to work toward over time. So that's neither here nor there, I guess, in a way, but I don't want us to be afraid of stretching. I think we need to, and if we don't stretch in here, this is what's going to give the legislators the juice to go forward to try to do some real planning in our state. I mean, it has to come, I think, from the heart and from our passion to do better with this issue. And, you know, I had thought maybe we could put something in here about how we really are being left behind regionally, but that's not in here. I guess we're not comfortable putting it in. You know, anyway, there's a lot of reasons why there's a lot of passion about this. So I just want to echo what Mark said.
We're going to do our very best to go back and try to incorporate some of this into the draft, but our goal is, and we will need it, is to get this thing out for public comment. So please don't be offended if your idea didn't make it to this draft. It goes out for public comment. It doesn't mean we aren't still considering it and working on this for the final draft. But our goal here is to make sure we get this out and give the public an opportunity to really review it and provide us with their feedback.
So at this point, I just want to sort of think about the meeting, because we had talked about this before. So we're definitely not meeting in August. At this point, I don't want to issue a cancellation order, but I'm not sure meeting in September is useful, especially because it's going to be really crunch time for the agency to get the plan out. So then what we might want to do is meet a little bit earlier in October, so we will get the benefit of the presentation about the plan, but we can also start to ruminate a little bit about what we want to put in our own report, because our report will be due November 30th, and then we'll just have one more meeting, which would be in November. So anyway.
I don't see how you get the report out by October 1st without this group commenting on the public comments and what you're going to incorporate or not incorporate from that.
Well, I think the timing is just really, really challenging, because we've got the we've got the public comment period, and then they have to incorporate them if we want to meet the October 1st deadline.
Which ones did they incorporate? That's my question. All right. I thought this group here was going to help decide which ones were going to get incorporated. No?
I mean,
What causes the report to go out? This group, right?
No,
With
it's just
respect,
it's
Senator,
the statute is October 1st, it says it has to go out, and we're just providing input.
With respect, the solid waste working group's role is to provide input to the agency in its preparation of the solid waste management plan. And we take that very seriously. We not only take everything that's happened to now and today, but we're very interested in anything that is provided to us over the next month or so. Having said that, it is not a situation, as I understand it, and probably wouldn't even be appropriate for like the group to vote on whether they approve the plan, because that is not a role or a mandate that the group was provided by the legislature. So I think that we could, it's difficult because we also have this whole other group we've called the general public, which I think will provide us with a lot of input on this. And to be honest and very candid, we're going to need every day in September to review that, evaluate it, and make a decision about how the plan gets amended, both from the comments we receive from the solid waste working group as well as the public. And I don't know how we would, if we have a meeting, you could pick any day in September, but if we have a meeting in September, we're not going to be prepared to give this group what we will not have yet processed all that information. So we're going to give you something that looks a lot like what we will release in the next few days for public comment, and I don't know how that would help the group. So I just think it's, if we had 6 more months, we could have another meeting and maybe have a near final draft that you can take a look at and provide your comment on. But I just don't think we're going to, given the schedule that we have now, I don't think there's an opportunity for the agency to take significant input from this group in a formal setting again and get this published on time, which we do intend to do.
So I'm looking at the bill. I don't necessarily think that everything that you said is the way the bill says.
Okay.
It's the function of the group is to review and recommend methods to better provide. Review and recommend. Review and recommend. Review other such matters. Again, I'm going to see the thing on the other end, when it comes to the legislation. So, but I'm just very surprised. All these groups that I've been on, that we go get public input, and that goes to the department and doesn't come back to the group. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
My instincts are to make a commitment to you that I can't keep. And I'm not going to do that. I always want to give due respect to these people who give their time and volunteer, and to legislators who do the same. But I don't know how we can get, but by October 1, with what we're doing, I don't know how we can get a meaningful opportunity for this group to weigh in yet again on a draft of the plan. In order to do that, we would have to take your comment, we'd have to work on it over the next month, give you a new draft without any regard to the public comment that we received, which is very important, and then take your comments on that. So it would still be a very incomplete and imperfect exercise.
Well, if your comment period is like the month of August, okay, and you have a meeting, early in September that says, okay, here's the comments we've had, we're looking at, certain parts of it. Again, I'm just very surprised that this group is not getting to weigh in on the final verdict. Surprised.
Calendar is what's conspiring against us. I just don't know how we can. And credit to this group, who just really got stood up, less than a year ago, you have focused your attention mightily with a large group of people who have a lot of responsibilities to give us input. And I think it's been very constructive and very timely and very helpful. But it's the will of the group. I'm just one member of the group.
Well, I mean, my problem is that you have a deadline of October 1st, and you've made many commitments that that the agency is gonna issue it on the deadline, and there's a lot of people that really wanna see this report by the deadline. And, you know, if you had a staff of 10, maybe you could get through the public comments more quickly, but I don't know. It's not an ideal world.
So our charge isn't to approve the plan, right?
That's correct.
Right, so, but to the senator's point, you know, is there a way for this group to understand what the comments of the public are?
Probably what we could do without a lot of post-processing is to compile the comments that we receive and send them out to the group in an email communication, which we could do close to the end, you know, soon after the comment period ends.
What do you usually do with regulations, proposed draft regulations? Are all the comments public, or how did, what's
sure.
that?
Any comments we receive are public, and
And you put them, I mean, so we could access them?
Sure, no,
Give us a link?
Absolutely, no, we can provide that in almost real, you know, once the comment period closes, we can provide all of those comments to you. And we're happy to do that.
Yeah. And considering it's a living document, like, so we gotta meet our deadline, you can incorporate what you can, whatever our next meeting is, October or whatever, there might be an initiative to,
Right.
within whatever time period that is, these are amendments we would like to agree on as a group to put back out there, so.
Well, and we can even put it in our report, because we have a report, opportunity. I mean, I think, Mike, the thing is, you get the public comments, the staff has to incorporate them, and then there's a review period further up the
We need the whole month to get
chain.
this done right.
Right.
You
And
won't
I
like the
know.
result if we don't have that.
Yeah.
I can assure you of that.
Yeah. And as I say, there's probably gonna be people starting to come at you with legislative ideas too. And I mean, I would just say as a legislator, it's really important that we get it out in a timely fashion, because that's sort of our action